10 people were found guilty of cyberbullying Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, after false claims she was transgender. Stick around because I'm going to get into this, and this is bigger than just someone like Candace Owens spewing a lie. The French president's wife told TF1 ahead of the verdict that the online attacks against her appeared endless and that she launched legal action to set an example in the fight against harassment. The defendants were 8 men and 2 women between 41 and 65 years of age. They were accused of posting numerous, particularly degrading, insulting, and malicious comments about Miss Macron's trans identity. So, Brigitte Macron is not transgender. Conspiracies are the rights. That's their heart, is conspiracy. Why don't we do this in the US? Well, we have free speech here. But I agree with using people like this to set an example. And I mean criminally charging these people. No one in the US is held accountable for online bullying. So even if Brigitte was trans, which she's not, it's just like a conspiracy based on false information, why the fuck would anyone care? And I'll tell you from experience, the men who commit these crimes are disproportionately cisgender white supremacist males. So this conspiracy that Brigitte is trans, and not only that, but they added in the element that Brigitte was somehow a child groomer when she was younger. This is a conspiracy that's been around since the 60s and 70s, and I'm talking about the conspiracy that gay or trans people are grooming children. This began in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where Republicans began using like evangelical talk points. So they made up a conspiracy against gay people. They don't even understand that gay and trans are 2 different things. So this conspiracy was as big as like the Satanic Panic and the Pizzagate conspiracy. These idiots actually thought Hillary Clinton was eating babies, human babies. So in the 80s, Ronald Reagan had a 2-term presidency, and Reagan was the Donald Trump of the 80s. Their primary goals were to spread disinformation on abortion and gay and trans people. But the right became a little bit more abortion friendly, so they shifted their focus to attacking gay people. And they used Christianity to justify their lies. So this is what led to the modern far-right movement that we know today. The one that's based solely on disinformation and conspiracies. Uneducated people in America flock to conspiracy theories, and this is how MAGA was formed. MAGA was an intentional selection by Republicans because they knew they had to keep their Christian base, or else the party would be dwindled down to nothing if they lost the Christian base. So they used gay and trans people as a scapegoat to save their own party, and this disturbing behavior continues today. And it encourages bullying and violence towards trans Americans. This is a pattern of extremely disturbing behavior, and it needs to be addressed and called out for what it is. Especially from Democrats in government. Call this out exactly for what it is. This is mental illness. This is paranoia. I would even argue it's schizophrenia. I grew up with a schizophrenic uncle, and I see many, many parallels with my uncle and MAGA, people in MAGA. If you ever watch interviews, I watch these interviews of people that go to MAGA rallies and interview them, and they don't even understand basic government policy. They have no clue what policies Republicans are actually voting for. And they have these creepy, weird obsessions of trying to hurt someone else. So MAGA is projecting their paranoia and delusions and mental illness onto trans people. They're obsessing over trans people in these cults. The cults of MAGA and the cult of Turning Point USA are completely obsessed and consumed with trans people. They're claiming that trans people are just crawling out of the depths of hell. And Hillary Clinton's eating babies, right? So these lies started decades ago to distract from the fact that right-wing evangelicals have a gigantic pedophilia problem. So trans people are only 0.6% of the population. And if you look at hard data and evidence, which is what people who live in reality do, trans people are the only ones being preyed upon and threatened and attacked. And arguing that reality just shows how uneducated someone really is. What needs to be addressed right now is the fact that these are cult members, and a large majority of Americans are not religious and are not involved in cults like this. Conspiracies, illusions, and rejection of reality has become the way of life for Republicans. And the farther right you go, the more extreme the mental health problems appear to be. Donald Trump just made healthcare so unaffordable that mental health issues are going to become very widespread. In 2026, we need to focus on bringing the government back to reality. We have a white supremacy, conspiracy-loving epidemic in America. Thank you for listening. Please like this, share this, get this information out there, leave your comments. I'll be back soon. Bye.